License-free, permitless, constitutional carry is online in Texas. Sounds great, but what's the catch? And our two-way for today Modern Militiaman spotlight is on a man in Syracuse, New York, who stopped a mass shooting on the streets, according to the district attorney. Welcome to Two-Way for Today. Two-Way for Today is a program where we explore all things Second Amendment, all things that protect, threaten, and violate the Second Amendment rights of all Americans. My name is Zoe, and I'm the host of Two-Way for Today. License-free, permitless, constitutional carry is online in Texas. Sounds great, but what's the catch?
Catch me outside, how about that?
Catch you outside? What does that mean?
What I just said.
Texans who want a more secure Texas are rejoicing this month as HB 1927, the Firearm Carry Act of 2021, went into effect at the beginning of the month. It removed restrictions encumbering innocent Texans 21 years or older that prevented them from carrying a handgun concealed or holstered openly, unless they first acquired a handgun license. So, now most legal law-abiding Texans are free to express their God-given liberty, to a point. There are some, shall we say, infringements. And what I aim to do with this show is help us navigate some of those slippery areas where the law is still short of perfect liberty. If you're younger than 21, openly carrying a gun is still forbidden. Also, if you are recently convicted or committed any of the following crimes less than 5 years ago: assault causing bodily injury, including to their spouse; deadly conduct, including discharging a firearm at persons, a habitation, a vehicle, or building; making a terroristic threat; and disorderly conduct by A, discharging a firearm in a public place other than a public road or a sports shooting range; or B, displaying a firearm or other deadly weapon in a public place in a manner calculated to alarm. Also, if you fall under the prohibitions of the Federal Gun Control Act, convicted in any court of a crime punishable by imprisonment for a term exceeding 1 year, a fugitive from justice, an unlawful user of or addicted to any controlled substance, if you've been adjudicated as a mental defective or been committed to any mental institution, you're an illegal alien, if you've been discharged from the armed forces under dishonorable conditions, if you've renounced your United States citizenship, you're subject to a court order being restrained from harassing, stalking, or threatening an intimate partner or child of the intimate partner, or you've been convicted of a misdemeanor crime of domestic violence. The above list is a slippery slope for crooked people in positions of power to take advantage of the law. I mean, if you get sentenced to serve a year and a day, then you're now ineligible to express your God-given liberty. If you're diagnosed by Anthony Fauci as vaccine hesitant and therefore crazy by the CDC-CP, you can be put on a list and lose your God-given liberty. Even a scorned and psychopathic spouse could exploit the federal frustration of our rights by accusing you and then getting a restraining order whereby you can be made insecure. You can also be charged with a third-degree felony if you intentionally, unknowingly, or recklessly possess or go with any firearm on the physical premise of a school or educational institution, any grounds or building on which an activity sponsored by a school or educational institution is being conducted, or a passenger transportation vehicle of a school or educational institution, whether the school or educational institution is public or private. If you're on the premises of a polling place on the day of an election, or while early voting is in progress, if you're on the premises of any government court or offices utilized by the court, on the premises of a racetrack, if you go into a secured area of an airport, if you're within 1,000 feet of premises, the location of which is designated by the Texas Department of Criminal Justice as a place of execution on a day that a sentence of death is set to be imposed. If you're on the premises of a business that is licensed by the Texas Alcohol Beverage Commission and it derives 51% or more of its business from the on-premise sale of alcohol. On the premises where a high school, collegiate, or professional sport event is taking place. On the premises of a correctional facility or a civil commitment facility. If you're on the premises of a state licensed hospital or nursing home, or a mental hospital. if you're in certain amusement parks, anytime the handgun is intentionally displayed in a public place unholstered, if the person carrying is intoxicated, with a few exceptions, like if you're on your own property, you're on someone else's with their consent, or you're en route to your or someone else's vehicle or watercraft. For an unlicensed carrier, if you go into the room or room where a meeting of a governmental entity is held, actual Texas gun license holders have more liberty here. Even on the premises of employment, if prohibited by the person's employer, on the property of any of the 10 state hospitals, any private establishment with the appropriate signage forbidding firearms. As a note, some of the aforementioned forbidden God-given liberty zones have exceptions if you have written permission, and license holders have a bit more liberty than unlicensed citizens. Texans also have the liberty to carry holstered and open or concealed into any religious institution that does not put up the appropriate signage forbidding it. Also, no liberty has been restored for keeping or bearing machine guns or short barrel rifles. While the changes are not perfect liberty, they are a shot across the bow of the federal overlords in D.C. with a message that tens of millions of gun owners and their state legislatures are not going to suffer the fools charading as the defenders of the Constitution. Laws like this one in Texas should continue to be implemented across the country, along with citizen militia laws that restore the rightful place of training and duty to the true constitutional militia and hold Congress and the legislatures accountable to keep us trained and ready to defend our families and neighbors. And our 2A for Today Modern Militiaman spotlight is on a man in Syracuse, New York, who stopped a potential mass shooting on the streets, according to the district attorney. Shots fired! A madman with a 9mm opened fire on a group of people in Syracuse, New York. Enter our 2A for Today Modern Militiaman. The New York concealed carry permit holder drew his sidearm and returned fire. The madman lost his head, literally, and was pronounced dead on the scene.
Medical treatment was provided on scene. He was shortly pronounced dead after that.
According to localseer.com, the district attorney, William Fitzpatrick, said in a statement that based on preliminary investigation, it appears the man who shot Jackson, the madman, saved the lives of several individuals. Our 2A for Today Modern Militiamen and other witnesses to the shooting have received threats and suffered property damage and what they believe to be retaliation. Cases like these demonstrate the great need for the citizen militia to be gathering and training together in their local communities, not to be crime watch or neighborhood watches, but the self-evident truth that it's necessary for the security of a free community that we militia up. Now that concludes our program for today. But again, in the coming weeks and months, 2A for Today will be talking to experts, scholars, trainers, and all forms of gun right activists and Second Amendment proponents to answer the many questions that we all have and unpack the various laws and trespasses of our rights that have already been enacted and those that are on the horizon. Again, if the Second Amendment is important to you, make sure to subscribe to the New American Magazine and get on the top daily headlines mailing list so that you get an email alert anytime we upload a video or stream a live event. And share these videos with your family and friends who feel the same, or those that are riding the fence between liberty and tyranny who need a little more convincing. You've been watching 2A for Today. My name is Zoe. Post your comments, your questions, and we'll try to address as many as we can, as fast as we can in the coming weeks and months. Thank you for watching 2A for Today.
After all the garbage being pumped into your head by the mainstream media, consider this your mental defrag. The Daniel Natal Show.
The Daniel Natal Show. If you enjoy 2A for Today, consider watching The Daniel Natal Show, presented by The New American. Daniel Natal is brilliant, and his show presents analysis of news and current events. Think of it as the Intelligence Agency Bureau for the people, where listeners are invited to get briefed on information that the intelligence agencies would really rather keep classified. Check it out on thenewamerican.com.